All right, so get this.
Okay.
For today's deep dive, we're going to be exploring some business strategies.
Okay.
And you might be surprised to hear that they're inspired by
Oh,
Donald Trump.
interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
before you jump to any conclusions,
Okay.
this is not about politics at all.
Okay.
Our source material is this podcast episode.
Okay.
It's called Use Trump to Get Rich in 2025. And it's from this show, Hopeton Lifestyle.
Okay.
And their focus is wealth building.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be kind of sifting through it, to try to see if we can pull out any practical business advice.
Okay.
No matter what your political leanings are,
Mm-hmm.
just think of it as an experiment.
Okay.
Can we learn something useful from what might be considered an unexpected source?
It's certainly an interesting choice, I'd say, for a case study.
Yeah.
This Hopeton Lifestyle host
Right.
seems to suggest that even a controversial figure like Trump can offer some valuable lessons in things like branding and marketing and entrepreneurship.
Exactly. And the first thing they jump into is the power of the Trump brand.
Okay.
Like, it's practically a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
Whether you love it or hate it,
Right.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the name.
Absolutely. The name recognition is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
And the Source podcast argues that this kind of brand awareness can be a really powerful tool.
Especially in business.
Especially in business.
Right.
But it's not as simple as slapping your name on something. There's real strategy involved.
Right.
So think about it.
Mm-hmm.
The name Trump carries a lot of baggage, both positive and negative.
Yeah.
So for anyone who is trying to emulate aspects of his approach, understanding how to kind of manage those associations is crucial.
So it's not just about getting your name out there.
Right.
It's about
carefully crafting the image and the message associated with your brand. You need laser-focused messaging and a really deep understanding of your target audience.
Right.
You need to control the narrative and ensure that the image people have in their heads when they hear your name aligns with your business goals.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, beyond branding, the Source podcast spends a lot of time on real estate as a wealth-building strategy.
Makes sense.
Which, of course, is something Trump is known for.
Right. And this is where we can start to extract some more universally applicable insights.
Yep.
The Hopeton Lifestyle host emphasizes the importance of understanding market trends.
Okay.
They talk about identifying areas that are poised for growth.
Okay.
Regions experiencing like an economic boom or places with new infrastructure developments or maybe a surge in tech industries, something like that.
Right, so areas that are on the rise.
Yeah, exactly. Things that are, getting hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
They also mention flipping properties as a strategy.
Right.
I'm curious, for our listeners who might not be familiar with, real estate lingo.
Yeah.
Can you break that down a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So
what does that even mean?
Flipping is essentially buying undervalued properties, often those that need some work, renovating them strategically, and then selling them quickly for a profit.
Okay.
It can be a lucrative strategy,
Okay.
but it does involve a certain level of risk and requires a keen eye for spotting potential and a knack for managing renovation projects.
So there's more to it than just buy low, sell high.
Yeah, there is.
It sounds like you need to know a thing or two about construction and design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of understanding the details, the Source podcast highlights another key takeaway from Trump's approach. The importance of negotiation. Whether you're dealing with sellers, contractors, buyers, or anyone else, really honing your negotiation skills can really significantly impact your bottom line.
Yeah, they even have a quote about it. They say, an important lesson from Trump is the importance of negotiation. Always be prepared to negotiate deals, whether it's with sellers, contractors, or buyers.
Absolutely. And that advice is solid, whether you're into real estate, starting a tech company, or even negotiating a salary raise at your current job. It's a really fundamental skill for anyone looking to succeed in business.
Yeah, negotiation is definitely a skill I could work on.
Yeah.
So we've got branding and real estate covered. What's next on the Hopeton lifestyle list?
Well, they shift gears
Okay.
to the world of personal branding,
Okay.
which is especially relevant in today's digital age.
Yeah, for sure.
They argue that a large part of Trump's success can be attributed to his carefully cultivated persona.
Okay, so are they saying that just having a great product or service isn't enough anymore?
Right.
You need to build a personal brand around yourself.
That seems to be the argument.
Interesting.
Yeah, they emphasize the importance of social media influence and networking.
Yeah.
In today's world, building a strong online presence can make or break your business.
For sure.
It's about sharing your expertise, engaging with your audience, and establishing yourself as kind of a thought leader in your field.
So it's not just about posting selfies.
Right.
It's about
providing value and building a community.
Okay.
Think about it. People are bombarded with information online.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to stand out.
Right.
You need to give them a reason to pay attention to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
They also touch on networking.
Yeah.
Both online and offline. Are they suggesting that we all need to become master schmoozers?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But they do stress the importance of building relationships and connecting with the right people.
Okay.
Think about attending industry events, joining online communities, and developing relationships with influencers.
Okay.
This can open doors to collaborations, partnerships, and investment opportunities.
Right.
They even point out that success often comes from who you know as much as what you know.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not always just about what you can do on your own.
Right.
It's about
who you can collaborate with.
Right.
And the support system you build around yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about leveraging the power of your network.
Okay, so we've covered branding, real estate, personal branding.
Okay.
What else do they unpack in this episode?
Well, they move on to this broader topic of entrepreneurship and innovation.
Which makes sense considering, Trump's history of launching various businesses.
Right.
Some successful, some not so much.
Right.
What kind of insights do they offer in this area?
Well, they really emphasize the importance of identifying what they call gaps in the market.
Okay, interesting.
They encourage listeners to think about the problems that people are facing, the needs that aren't being met, and how they can create a solution.
So it's about finding a problem and solving it in a way that nobody else is.
Exactly. They encourage listeners to ask themselves, what services or products are lacking? How can I fill that gap?
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it requires a lot of observation and research
for sure.
to really understand what people are struggling with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They also talk about the importance of diversification. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, they suggest spreading your risk by investing in different sectors. So this could mean having a mix of investments in different types of companies, or even having multiple streams of income.
Right. So don't put all your money in one stock.
Exactly.
Or rely solely on one source of income.
Right.
Spread it around to minimize risk.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And they highlight the need for innovation, staying ahead of trends, being willing to adapt your business model as needed.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're advocating for a flexible and adaptable approach to business.
Absolutely.
Always be on the lookout for new opportunities and be ready to change course if necessary.
Right.
Okay.
And here's where things get really interesting.
Okay. They also talk about the importance of learning from your mistakes.
Okay.
Which, is something Trump has had plenty of experience with.
Yeah. His business career has definitely been a roller coaster.
It has.
He's had some major wins, but also some very public setbacks.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and the Source podcast uses those experiences to emphasize the importance of resilience and risk management.
So it's not just about avoiding failure.
Right.
It's about knowing how to bounce back.
Exactly.
When things don't go as planned.
That's a key takeaway.
Okay.
They argue that understanding the potential risks associated with any business venture and having a plan to mitigate those risks is crucial.
So it's like having a financial safety net.
It is, yeah.
For your business.
Yeah, that's one way to think about it.
Something to fall back on when things get tough.
Exactly. And they also emphasize the importance of learning from your mistakes.
Right. And using those experiences to become stronger.
Right.
And more adaptable.
So failure isn't the end. It's just a stepping stone to something better.
That's a really great way to put it.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
We're learning so much from this unexpected source.
It is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far?
I think there's a lot of valuable advice here.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with everything Trump has done.
Right. Absolutely.
It's all about extracting the nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah.
And applying them to your own unique situation.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground already.
I know, right?
From branding to real estate to personal branding, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And even bouncing back from failure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're just getting started.
Amazing. Okay. Well, stay tuned for more insights in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good. It's interesting that the Source podcast specifically highlights learning from setbacks as a key takeaway.
Right.
They actually quote the Hopeton Lifestyle host as saying, risk management, understand the risks associated with investments, and be prepared for setbacks, have a financial cushion and a contingency plan.
Yeah, so it's almost like they're saying that you should expect the unexpected.
Right.
Right. Like having an emergency fund, but for your business.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And they don't just stop at planning for setbacks.
Right.
They also stress the importance of the right mindset, saying resilience, learn from mistakes, and adapt. Every entrepreneur faces challenges, but it's how you respond that defines your success.
So it's not just about avoiding failure.
Right.
It's about having the grit to get back up when you stumble. Would you say that kind of resilience is something that can be learned?
That's a great question.
Or is it more of an innate personality trait?
I think it's probably a combination of both.
Okay.
Some people might naturally have a more resilient personality.
Right.
But I also believe that resilience is a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time.
Okay.
It's about training yourself to view setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth.
Okay. Yeah, I like that perspective.
Yeah.
It takes the sting out of failure, doesn't it?
For sure.
It makes it less about losing and more about gaining valuable experience.
Exactly. And this idea of resilience ties back to something we discussed earlier, the importance of adaptability in today's constantly changing business landscape.
Yeah, for sure.
The Hopeton Lifestyle host seems to agree, emphasizing the need to be flexible, to be willing to pivot, and to constantly be learning and evolving.
Right, so always staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
It strikes me that the Source podcast chose kind of an unconventional
example to illustrate these points.
Okay.
Donald Trump, he's definitely had his share of business failures.
Yes.
But he's also known for bouncing back.
For sure.
Do you think there are any potential downsides?
That's a very astute observation.
Okay.
While there are certainly lessons to be learned from his resilience and persistence, it's important to remember that his methods and approach aren't always universally admired or considered ethical. It's crucial to be discerning and to critically evaluate the strategies you adopt, ensuring that they align with your own values and principles.
So take the good, leave the bad.
Exactly.
And always operate with integrity.
Precisely. It's about finding the right balance between boldness and responsibility.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a moment.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From branding and real estate.
To personal branding.
Right.
Entrepreneurship. Innovation. And the importance of learning from setbacks. What stands out to you?
That's a tough question.
As the most valuable takeaway?
There are so many great insights to choose from. But if I had to pick just one, I'd say the emphasis on adaptability is particularly crucial in today's rapidly changing world.
For sure.
The Source podcast does a really good job of highlighting the need to be flexible, to be willing to pivot, and to constantly be learning and evolving. Those qualities are essential for success, regardless of your industry or specific business model.
Okay, I agree. And it's not just about reacting to change, is it?
Right.
It's about
actively anticipating it and even shaping it.
Right.
It's about having that entrepreneurial mindset of always looking for the next opportunity.
The next opportunity, yeah. I like that. And speaking of innovation, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Source podcast's emphasis on identifying gaps in the market.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about it as
They do.
a key driver of entrepreneurial success.
Right.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to pinpoint
That's a great question.
those unmet needs and come up with...
But it's not always an easy task.
Right.
But I think there are a few key things to keep in mind.
Okay.
First, it's important to really understand your target audience.
Okay.
What are their pain points?
Right.
What are they struggling with?
That's
what
right.
are their unmet needs and desires?
Okay.
You can gain this understanding through market research, surveys, focus groups, or even just by paying close attention to conversations happening online and in your community.
Okay. So it's about being a good listener and observer.
Exactly.
Tuning into what people are actually saying and needing.
Right.
Rather than just assuming you know what they want.
It's about empathy.
Okay.
And truly understanding your customer.
I like that.
Yeah.
And once you've identified a potential gap in the market.
Right.
How do you go about coming up with an innovative solution? Is there like a secret formula?
I wish there were.
For entrepreneurial creativity?
Simple formula.
Right.
But unfortunately, innovation is often messy and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best ideas come from unexpected places.
So be open to inspiration from anywhere and everywhere.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
To try new things and to think outside the box.
Okay, that's great advice.
Yeah.
So we've talked about identifying gaps in the market and fostering a culture of innovation.
Right.
But let's get practical for a moment.
Okay.
What are some tangible steps someone can take to actually bring their innovative ideas to life? How do you go from a spark of inspiration to a successful business venture?
Well, the first step is often to validate your idea.
Okay.
Is there really a market for this?
Right.
Are people actually willing to pay for this solution?
Right.
You can test your idea through surveys, creating a minimum viable product or MVP, or even just talking to potential customers and getting their feedback.
So it's about gathering evidence that your idea has legs.
Exactly.
Before investing a lot of time and money into it.
It's a way to reduce risk.
Okay.
And make sure you're on the right track.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about funding?
Right.
Securing the resources to actually launch and grow your business.
That's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
The Source podcast actually touches on this briefly, mentioning that Trump has a knack for attracting investors.
So are they suggesting that part of entrepreneurial success is about being able to sell your vision to convince others to believe in your idea and invest in it?
That's definitely a key skill.
Okay.
Whether you're pitching to angel investors, venture capitalists, or even crowdfunding, you need to be able to articulate your vision clearly and persuasively.
So it's not just about having a great idea.
Right.
It's about being able to communicate that idea effectively.
Exactly.
And inspire others to get on board.
And that ties back to something we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
The importance of building a strong personal brand.
Yeah.
Investors are more likely to bet on someone they trust and believe in.
Right. So all of these pieces are interconnected.
Yes.
Branding, innovation, networking.
Yeah.
Even the ability to bounce back from failure. It all contributes to the bigger picture of entrepreneurial success.
It's not about mastering any one skill in isolation.
Okay.
It's about developing a holistic approach to building and growing a successful business.
This is fascinating stuff.
It is.
We're getting a real masterclass in entrepreneurship from this unexpected source.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And we're not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Stay tuned for part 3,
okay,
where we'll explore some even deeper insights.
Okay, great.
And leave you with some final food for thought.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so we're back for this final part of our deep dive into this unconventional business wisdom. Inspired by Donald Trump. You know, it's interesting to think about how someone's public persona can be so intertwined with their business ventures.
Absolutely.
It's almost like the line between the person and the brand blurs, you know?
It's true. And it's something the Source podcast touches on as well.
Okay.
They argue that Trump has masterfully leveraged his personality and public image to build his business empire. Whether you agree with his tactics or not,
Yeah.
There's no denying that he's a master
Yeah.
of self-promotion and creating a larger-than-life persona.
Yeah, I wonder if that kind of approach is still effective in today's world. Like, we live in a time where authenticity and transparency are so highly valued.
Yeah.
Especially online.
For sure.
So do you think the Trumpian approach to personal branding
That's a great question.
still resonates with consumers?
I think the answer is complex.
Okay.
While a certain level of showmanship and self-promotion can be effective in grabbing attention, it's important to remember that today's consumers are more discerning than ever. They can spot inauthenticity a mile away.
So it's not just about being loud and flashy anymore. You need to have substance.
You need to have substance.
Behind the image.
Yeah, okay.
I think the key is to find a balance between confidence and humility.
Okay.
Between promoting yourself and genuinely connecting with your audience.
Okay. It sounds like it's all about building trust and credibility.
It is.
No matter what industry you're in.
No matter what industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, as we've been discussing these different business strategies, it's occurred to me that a lot of them seem applicable beyond the world of traditional business. Do you think these principles
That's interesting.
could be valuable in other areas of life? Like personal development or even navigating relationships?
I think you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Many of these principles, like the importance of building strong relationships.
Being adaptable, learning from your mistakes, these are universal. They can be applied to any area of life where you're striving for growth and success.
So even if our listener isn't an entrepreneur, they can still
take away some valuable nuggets of wisdom
from this deep dive.
Absolutely.
I think there's something here
I agree.
for everyone, regardless of their specific goals or aspirations. It's amazing how we can extract such valuable insights from such an unexpected source.
It just goes to show that there's always something to learn, no matter where you look.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's bring it all together for our listener. What are some key takeaways they can apply to their own lives?
All right.
Whether they're building a business, pursuing a creative passion, or just navigating the complexities of everyday life.
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is the importance of adaptability. In a world that's constantly changing. Being able to embrace change and pivot when necessary is crucial. And that requires a growth mindset, a willingness to learn from your experiences, both the successes and the failures.
I love that. Embracing change and seeing every experience as an opportunity for growth.
Absolutely. Another key takeaway is the importance of building a strong personal brand. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an artist, or just someone who wants to make a positive impact on the world. Having a clear sense of who you are and what you stand for is essential. It's about communicating your values and your unique strengths to the world.
So it's about authenticity and being true to yourself?
Yes.
But also about
effectively communicating that to others. And finally, I think the Source podcast's emphasis on identifying gaps in the market is a valuable lesson. Even beyond the realm of business. It encourages us to be observant, to look for unmet needs, and to think creatively about how we can make a positive difference.
It's almost like a call to action, isn't it?
It is.
Like a reminder that we all have the power to create positive change.
We do.
In our own unique ways.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Okay. So to wrap things up, I want to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question.
Sounds good.
We've talked a lot about adapting to change. But how do you balance the need to be adaptable with the importance of staying true to your core values? How do you navigate that tension?
That's a fantastic question.
Between evolving and staying grounded.
It's something we all grapple with as we navigate the complexities of life and business.
And with that, we'll leave you to ponder that question. And apply these insights to your own unique journey.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Hit us up on social media. Or drop us an email. We're always up for a good discussion.
Until next time. Keep diving deep. And keep those entrepreneurial spirits burning bright.
And remember, even unconventional sources
can
offer unexpected insights.
They can.
Happy exploring.
See you later.